because
Okay.
I think this is a thing that we can really speak to. We don't have a super duper large family. Like I don't have 20 kids, but I do have 6, and we have older adults and we have all the way down to little ones. And I touched on it a little bit, how we've given some grace. They have smoothies in the afternoon to break it up. My little ones have little by little weaned themselves off of smoothies. It's just kind of happened naturally. They were making their own smoothies every afternoon. They were making thick smoothies and they were like enjoying them. And I think that's really important, that the kids still can have food that they enjoy. But into that 3rd week, the smoothies just disappeared. They disappeared for me. They disappeared for the little kids. And even my bigger boys, it's like,
It's
not
slowly
every day.
weaning out. Yeah. It's just like,
you don't need it as much.
if we need a quick, fast meal, then we'll make them. But 99% of the time, it's either eggs and different things like that.
Yeah. And what my little kids have replaced that with is, and I think my big ones too, is just going to the freezer, getting out a bowl of frozen blueberries. And it's like, you know, they are eating bowls of frozen blueberries like nobody's business sometimes, but that doesn't bother me. I don't really mind. I'm not like, I don't get an award badge for the end of the week of like, I ate the perfect carnivore meal and so did my whole entire family. Like my husband is not doing any fruit. I'm doing a handful of frozen berries. If I really feel like I have a craving for something sweet, I'll get a handful of them, put them in a bowl, just kind of eat them. And I'm finding that smaller and smaller amounts are more satisfying. I'm just like, okay, yep, I'm good. Now I can, have my coffee. I'm not doing a coffee-free carnivore diet either. And, now my coffee doesn't have any sweetener in it. The other caveat that I allowed my little ones and my big ones to do is we allowed condiments. Now whole food condiments, not like high fructose corn syrup, but if they want to have a little condiment on their meat at night,
like barbecue sauce,
yeah, that's fine. If that makes it exciting and happy for them, and they can, it equals to like maybe a teaspoon or a tablespoon of something to put on their meat, I'm totally fine with that. I want them to be torturous.
Be like, remember when Mom made us go carnivore?
No,
that was great.
No, I don't want it to be like drudgery, and even like maybe once a week, if we have hamburgers, I'll even say my older boys, like, if you want to get buns or something for your hamburgers, like that's fine. We're not going to do it every single time we have burgers or every single night. But if you want one,
or if we have company coming over,
right? Like this evening, we're going to have burgers with our company.
You don't want to be those crazy people that literally just have burgers and that's it.
Yeah, it's fine. Like we can offer buns. Like you can have a bun with your hamburger. My husband and I aren't doing it. Certain ones of my big ones aren't going to do it, but whatever. So there's just been a little bit of grace in that. And what else was I going to say? The Instapot. Okay, y'all. So this is the deal maker for me with carnivore, is the Instapot. Number one for a big family is find a local farmer, find a meat market, find somewhere that you trust to get your meats from that's going to be quality than the grocery store. Can you do carnivore from the grocery store? Yes, absolutely. I said we went on vacation. It was very cheap. We went and got tons of bacon, tons of sausage, tons of ground beef, grass-fed ground beef. I think it was like $4 a pound or $5 a pound at the grocery store. Now you got to be able to put your faith and trust in the label, but that's what the label said. So anyway, it was very inexpensive. But if you're going to do this on a bigger scale for a bigger family long term, I think that your biggest bang for your buck is going to be finding a farmer, finding a meat market, finding a butcher shop local or not too far away.
Buying it by the cow,
Buy it by the cow, buy it in bulk, buy a couple cows.
Buy a half of a cow.
Whatever it looks like
that
for your
will
family.
be the best bang for your buck.
Get some freezers set up, get a little backup generator set up for your freezers. You don't want to invest all that in your meat and then lose power. That would be tragic. So get some infrastructure in place to do that, and then put some meat away. And we have used the Instapots every single day since going carnivore, except for our burger nights. We don't do the Instapots.
Grill.
But
that's what we
yeah,
use.
the grill for the burgers. But every other night, I'm just grabbing a whole bunch of beef from, it doesn't matter if it's roast,
anything,
if it's whatever, if it's heart, if it's anything. We
it's
just
so
throw it, not liver, because that will taint everything.
Woo!
You don't want to put liver.
We tried that.
You don't want to put liver in your Instapot. But everything else, minus the liver, you just put it in the Instapot with some water, and you just frozen salad, y'all. Yeah. This is like a 10-minute prep, right? And put it on high pressure for 2.5 hours, 3 hours if you want to go crazy, and you are going to have the most fabulous dinner ever. Break out your condiments if that's what makes everybody have a smile on their face, and eat meat until you cannot eat meat anymore and your belly says stop. And that has been our game, like every single night except for burger nights, which we do like twice a week. Once or twice. Yeah. And then in between that, we'll mix it up and do like pork one night. So then what happens is, in my refrigerator, because I'm doing it in the Instapot, is I have a big leftover pan always in there of beef, like shredded basically from the Instapot, or there might be pieces and chunks of steak or whatever in a pan that's in there covered up. And then I have another pan of pork. I might have another pan of ham. I always have a pan of sausage because I'll make sausage like every couple days. And when I make it, I get out big 2-pound packages of sausage and make up a lot. So that way, that next morning, I'm just taking sausage out of the refrigerator that's already cooked, throwing it back in the pan, warming it up, throw some fried eggs on top, and it is a day. And that stays out until like lunchtime, and I let everybody eat from that, and then I'll put it away. So meals have been like no problem.
A breeze, yeah.
Just such a breeze. If you get a hankering for something sweet, you can have some frozen berries, or if you're in the early phases, if you want to make a smoothie, you could do that. You can have some ice cream if you want some ice cream. But it's just been amazing. Yeah. Like we're just all doing great. The health benefits, I could just go on and on and on. Yeah. The inflammation, like totally gone. Me and my husband have lost, I don't know, we haven't weighed ourselves, but our bodies look physically very different, extremely different than they did 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, because Dad went from wearing, what size pants was he wearing? He is
squeezing into 34s.
Yeah.
Don't tell him that. He thought he was a 34, an honest 34, but he was squeezing. And
now he's down to a 32 or
yeah. And he put your shorts on the other day, which are 30s.
Yeah.
And
they look perfectly fine on him.
He has lost a lot in 6 weeks. And that's not
like I can visibly notice it, like big time.
Yeah, that's not any kind of exaggeration. No. He's been sleeping like from the first night, he has been sleeping like a baby, and he never has slept.
He said, what did he say? He hasn't slept this good since what age? I know, like his 20s or something.
No, I know through his teen years, he never slept well. Like he always suffered from like insomnia. Like he would not be able to sleep. And maybe some of that was his thyroid issue that he had back then, but he just was not able to sleep well at all. He's sleeping great. Like that's so amazing.
You can hear him snoring like halfway through the house.
He gets tired at night.
He gets tired now.
Yeah. And he would not get tired before.
No, we would have to stay up, or he would stay up till 10, 11, 12 at night just to finally get tired enough to finally fall asleep.
Yeah.
And like it would be halfway, and then he would wake up. He would say, oh, I woke up 8 times last night. You know, just had to like read my Bible, pray to God, like different things like that. He's went through several times where he wouldn't sleep for several days, like 3-4 nights in a row.
That's
and then
normal.
Still have to go, and then still have to go to work and be a normal human being around other people. So
well, he said when we went on vacation, and that was only our second or third weekend.
Second or third week.
I forget now what I just said, but anyway, he really just teared up that he was like, I actually enjoyed myself. Like it's the first time that we've been away that I've actually enjoyed myself, and I haven't had to make a cognitive effort to just not be miserable. And he's not a miserable person. He's a very happy person by nature. He's always smiling at me. But I didn't realize like how much inner pain he has. And just when you're exhausted and you have to force yourself to enjoy life. And now it's not like that. He doesn't have any inflammation in his shoulders anymore. He was going to the chiropractor like
several times a week.
Yeah. And then he would come home on the weekend and he would be like, all jacked up again. And he's like, I can't believe it. Now I'm going to have to go back into the chiropractor on Monday. And it was like, really, he needed to go to the chiropractor again on the weekend. Yeah. It was just
practically
horrible.
Almost, it got to the point it was almost every day.
Yeah.
Every other day, just to keep him somewhat out of pain. He, even when it came to like driving for long, even just driving to church, it was really painful. He
wouldn't drive.
Yeah. And then also sitting through church, it was really painful for him since he had to sit still, and then with the pews and everything like that. So normally he would have to like be stretching while
or put
listening.
Books behind his back, just all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
But now it's perfectly fine. He can sit through a service and be all fine and not be complaining about his pain.
And it was only I'll just say the third week when we were driving down south, and he drove the whole way and he drove the whole way home. And that night he slept and he got up and went to work. Like
nothing even happened.
Yeah. Like it's just been incredible. Like,
and he's always said that. He's like, if I could only sleep, he's like, I'd be perfect.
Yeah.
He's like, if I could only sleep.
And now like every morning I'm asking him, or I'm texting him if I didn't get to see him before he left, and say, how did you sleep? And he's like, wonderful. Like sleeping great. But he's like, I'm tired. I got to go to bed. And it's like 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. It's early, but he puts in a full day. And
he's up by 5 or 6.
Yeah. And then he goes to bed, and like within 5 or 10 minutes, like you said, he's snoring. Like he is out
cold.
So that's been life-changing. Like that has just been, I don't think there's any going back for me and my husband with it. I mean, and just, it's been the easiest thing that we've ever done. I mean, we don't have to learn how to make lasagna out of rice, or like make cheese out of cashews. We don't have to like, I mean, some of this stuff, like the plant-based, like you really have to learn how to be a chef to learn how to do these things. And with carnivore, it's like,
it's
so easy.
Definitely cowboy food right there.
It's super cowboy food. And we have chickens, so we have eggs, we have beef, we have access to healthy pork, and we have plenty of abundance to share every month. So that's been awesome.
Great.
The kids are all doing great. My big ones are all doing great. And you've noticed a big difference in your body, right? In the past 6 weeks.
Yeah, I've definitely trimmed out. Mainly the only part that I've really trimmed out is mainly my legs have trimmed out, definitely, which is really nice. But other than that, I wasn't, since we were already on our vegan deal, or somewhat vegan with meat. I don't know. It wasn't vegan. It was whole food diet. So I wasn't already overweight, but then, I've seen myself slim up a little bit. My weight's been steady. I've been weighing myself.
You been gaining muscle? Because that's the big thing.
Yeah, I've been definitely gaining muscle.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's good.
So it's been pretty cool seeing myself that I can thin down, but then my weight stay the same.
That's good.
It's really cool.
Yeah, because they said if you lift heavy weights once in a while and you're eating such high fat, high protein, you're going to gain
I've been still training every other day. So
that's great.
Consistently for almost a year now.
That's great. Yeah, so that's just a little bit of our carnivore experience this far. The other great thing with the Instapot is you have all the broth, so you save it, and I put it in quart jars, and all that fat just goes straight to the top, and it's like this much fat, and then it's all gelatinous. Like the whole jar just turns to straight gelatin. So if you go to pour it, like it doesn't pour. It's not broth. It's gelatin. So then I can scoop that out, add that back in when I'm reheating sausage or reheating meat. And having all of that shredded meat gives us another meal once or twice a week, which is like a mixed barbecue. So
that's really good.
Yeah. So once or twice a week, I'll do like a mixed barbecue, and I'll add in the ham, the pork, the beef. And you don't have to eat pork. Some people get geeked out with the pork, or my husband is kind of sensitive to eating too much pork. So, you know, there are options. I was telling my mom, you know, you can always do beef sausage. You can, you know, there's all those same options with beef. And just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your first steps, just take some little baby steps. And, you know, if you're buying grocery store, that's fine. Maybe you'll have to do that for 6 months until you can find somebody that you can, and get all your freezers set up and get everything in place. But I'm telling you, it is the best thing ever.
It is.
Yeah. So.
All right. I think we can wrap it up. All right. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Thank you for just giving us some time out of your life, and it means the world to us. And if you haven't already, go check out TheTexasBoys.com. And if you are somewhat close to the Northeast Texas area, or you just don't, if you just love driving or don't care about, okay, I'll say that again. If you are close to the Northeast Texas area, we do have beef and pork available every month. So go over to TheTexasBoys.com. It's under the butcher shop, and you can reserve a spot for a beef or half a pig or a whole pig. But anyway, thank y'all so much for watching, and we'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.